cold January day, life changed in so many ways at once. As the day begun, I lived one life. As the day ended, I had begun anew, reborn with a new life, a new mission, reborn with a new vision. What may come, I don't know yet, but I am here alive, living my life to the fullest, with new love in my heart and soul, a gift to have, a gift to give, a new life of love, reborn.
Oh.
Like an ice skater
All right, well, we don't
dancing
need to do this
for the
again, so
first
hold on.
time on the warm solid ice. No more
Okay, so
fears,
let's
no
pause this.
sorrows, because I love
Oh,
the coming
goodness.
tomorrows. This life has barely begun,
This is
but now I
hysterical. Hold on,
know what
guys.
I wanna do.
My, there it goes.
And like an
Pause it.
ice.
Goodness gracious. I'm still navigating Restream. So, good afternoon. Happy July 1st. And I'm realizing now that um, it's been very hot here in New England. I'm not sure how much you can see, but I just had cherry Italian ice, and it looks like my lips and my tongue are very red. So please forgive them or me because I needed something to cool my body temperature down after running a whole bunch of errands. So hi Tina, thank you for being here. Um, and I wanted to give people a chance to come in, but before I started talking about last week and just needing a break from YouTube and the channel, and you know, oh, I know, I used to consider myself very savvy with computers, but there's this tool, and I'm not as fluent in this particular technology. I will get it. Um, but for those that are joining on the replay and for those that will come in, and Tina, I'm not sure how much you know. So I lost my dad last month, and I needed to take some time to grieve. I still feel on edge. Um, and there's a concern in general about my health when it comes to these kinds of things because I'm incredibly emotional. I'm incredibly passionate. I'm incredibly empathetic and sensitive. And so, not that others aren't, but I have had a major health event um, in the past. And so, there's been concern. And there was my own concern, not that I'm going to have another heart event. That's not in my control. You know, sorrows within my control. And it was just everything seemed to have been energetically, spiritually, socially just coming at me. And I did not feel like I had the wherewithal to come here. Hi, 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 hi. Oh, great. Ah, love to both of you girls. So, Misha, my Misha, and her daughter. Um, and so, when we talk about trying to be authentic and trying to be honest, for me, last week I couldn't say a word without tears coming and being choked up. And the previous week, we had had some very intense conversations, and there were high emotions. And I was kind of hoping that Cromel would be here because he um, was feeling things very powerfully as well as was I, and many people on the chat. And it just really, I needed to regroup, and I needed to cry, and I needed to feel vulnerable. And I also have to feel a little bit alone. And I want to talk a little bit about that before we dive into the 7 laws of the universe, because they are all connected. But, sometimes people are like, oh, you shouldn't be alone. You shouldn't go through this. You should have somebody there. Look, I agree. I would say that if I were counseling someone. And let me be really, 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 really clear here. I am not a medical professional of any kind. I'm not a professional anything other than human. So all these opinions, all these recommendations, all these suggestions are purely mine. They come from my life experience. And sometimes we just need to go quiet. We need to journal. We need to meditate, which I've struggled with because I just was antsy. And the world is upside down. So there's no safety, in my opinion, for me in this time and space. I don't know where I'm going to live in the next year. I don't know how I'm going to afford changes. I don't know a lot. And so I needed time to sort of regroup. Then my refrigerator, it didn't die. The outlet blew, and I lost all the food that I stored after having received a gift card from my brother and his wife. I took that and I bought a whole bunch of meats, put it in the freezer for days where I just didn't have enough funds, and lost everything. And was bereft, but angry. I was angry at me. I was angry at the universe. I was angry at the house. I was angry, 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 angry. Anger's good, but mine was a little irrational. Yelling at the outlet that is 9,000 years old. This is a very old house. And the GFI outlet just went poof. And my drawers, the freezer drawers, weren't closing all the way. That had nothing to do with the outlet. And I guess I didn't notice enough that the house is starting to tilt a little. And the weight of everything that was in the freezer, plus the electrical outlet going kapoof, just sent me into a tizzy. And I'm like, okay, well, oh, lovely to see you too. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was just sort of talking about why I wasn't around last week. And I think the sorrow was so profound. Now, it's going to sound dramatic, and please, I'm not suicidal, and everyone take that into with a grain of salt when I say I didn't understand why I was here. I felt like the universe was peeing on my head. And, I was feeling poor, poor, pitiful me. And I didn't want to reach out to anyone because I had nothing to say. I was like, what was I supposed to say? Why is the world picking on me? There's no answer to that. I just needed to feel and go through this pain and sorrow and ache, and then wanting to call my dad and say, oh my God, look at my garden. I have so much lettuce. I can't eat it all. And I'm giving it away. And look, I'm going to have strawberries and tears. So I felt very vulnerable. very lost, and did not have the capacity to come on. And I want everyone to breathe because, again, the darkness that I experienced mimicked how I felt in 2017 after I had lost my mom. I was very dark. And I was angry. I was angry at God. I was angry at the universe. I was angry at my angels. I was angry, angry, angry. Why is no one communicating with me? Why is nobody here helping me move through this? Why is no one telling me what my purpose is? Why do I why am I doing a YouTube channel? What do I have to offer? So it was a lot of waves of emotions and negativities. So everybody breathe in with me. I think we're allowed to feel those things. And for me especially, sorry, it's important that I feel, because my experience has been in the past that we turn off the pain. So when some of us are suffering, the first thing we do is turn it off, or we amplify it. So we do one or two things. When I was in that place, what used to help is I'd call my mom. Well, she's dead, so I can't call her. Then I would want to call my dad, and I can't call him. Hold. And one of the things that I've been going through from a spiritual education perspective is identifying the old me and the new me and creating a circle of being in neutral. Because we all are like yin and yang. We have highs and lows. We have happy, sad. We have good, bad. We have, all the extremes and the opposites of each other within our lives. So if you've seen the yin and yang sign, and if you haven't, it's, imagine a circle and then there's a squiggle line and one side's white, one side's black. And it's, it's just the blend. Everything has a blend, hence a cause and effect, old and new. And the old me was in full bloom last week. And I'll get to the comments in a minute. And it was, how do I get the new me that I've been going through this course, this evolution, this metamorphosis? How do I acknowledge and then step back and say, okay, you're responding this way. Now breathe and come into neutral. And now respond. Think about, the world's not picking on me. I'm not that significant. I'm significant to me. But the universe isn't going, oh, wait, there's Teresa. Let's blow up her refrigerator freezer and let's, have everything that she saved in that freezer and let's teach her a lesson and make it all go bad. And so, it's not that I'm not that powerful, that the universe is like, oh, 1 billion people, bzz, let's go right to her. So I had to take a couple of steps back and I had to regroup a little bit. And it was a new moon. And so I wanted to sort of envelop the new moon. I wanted to talk to the universe, talk to God, talk to my higher self. if you believe in this world that we chose to come in this time and space, we chose to be this person and go through these experiences for one or two or three reasons, right? One of those reasons is for our own personal growth. It's to help someone else grow potentially and to learn a lesson. And I haven't learned my lesson. I was punishing myself for things that were beyond my control. And there were a couple of other things that I can't really talk about here because there are folks that in my life that don't show up in the chat that created space for me to feel underappreciated, not important enough to include in certain things. And it hurt me. And again, it only, there was no way for me to sort of step back at that moment because I was in the middle of gunk. So before we start to dive into the 7 laws and talk about today, I just wanted to scroll up and just see, who I've missed and say hello and breathe a minute. And it got really dark in here because all of a sudden the sun went away and we're apparently going to have a rainstorm. Okay, so John's here, Jimena's here, Brazy's here. Lovely, lovely. Thank you all for being here. Yeah, so one thing after, one thing after the other goes like that. It's normal to feel this, and I really appreciate it. And I appreciate you, saying that you're there to talk. I literally could not talk to anybody. It wasn't that I don't think anybody within this community would be there for me. I could not find my breath. I could not find my words. I was really bitter and angry. And I had to experience those things. And I didn't want someone to tell me it's going to be okay. I know intellectually it's going to be all right, but I didn't want to hear. And I didn't want to hear, don't worry, you're going to be fine. And I did not want to hear that. I was not in the space to hear that. I'm fine now. Honestly, I truly am. But everything came at once. And Tina's right. Sometimes it's just everything comes at once. And it's like you get spanked down. And I said to the teacher, I said, I just feel like the universe is peeing on my head. Every time I step out of my house, the universe is peeing on my head. Every time I get up in the morning, the universe is peeing on my head. And wah, wah, wah. And I needed to whine, and I needed to feel that way in order to move through it. So, and I am grieving Jimena. I had a complicated relationship with my dad, but I still loved the man. And I still talk to him every couple of days, if not every day. And, it's the routine when I'm doing something, especially in my garden, which I got the love of my gardens from him. And so I was like, I just felt alone, terribly, terribly alone. Thank you, John. I really appreciate that. And it's just finding the breath. Victor, hello. So nice to see you. And I'm just going through coming to a channel near you soon. Excellent. Can't wait, John. You're coming out with your new channel. Come on in. So as we talk and as we move through some of the challenges and experiences, I participated in other people's channels in the background. I didn't want to say hi. I didn't want to have to go through, hey, everybody, how are you doing? Yes, hi, 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 hi. I just wanted to experience the channels. Um, and many of you are here. But I just needed the background. And it's funny, I was listening, it's a new YouTube channel. I have to, I'll find the name of it, but she only does a black screen. And I say she because it's a female voice. And then she has these topics that she talks about. And one of the things that resonated with me was there's so many challenges that we all experience. And it's okay that we feel like abandoned or hurt or disconnected. And all those things are okay. And we need to give ourselves permission, and then we can move through. And all these things that I teach, breathing techniques, right? I even tried to do some tapping, which I'm going to be talking about in the next couple of weeks, and instructing everybody, and sort of just, I'm sure many of you know. But I wanted to just talk about the value of it, and um, and meditation, which I was antsy, and I would go to Victor's either in the morning or the evening. I can't do both most often because one or two things happens to me. I barely get enough sleep, so I end up falling asleep later. And so I don't get up in time, or if I do get up in time, then I'm running around because I was late. And in the evenings, now it's a little bit easier because it gets dark at 9 o'clock, unless it's going to thunderstorm like right now. And I'm going to turn the light on. Let's see if that helps. Do I look green? um, but, and then I just couldn't get comfortable, or I would fall dead asleep. So let me focus on me. And again, I just want to reiterate for those that are here, I am not a medical professional. These are all my opinions. These are all my thoughts. These are techniques and tools I have used. So it's not, please don't look at me as if, oh, well, Teresa said, if I do X, Y, and Z, everything will be all hunky dory. Each of us has to navigate and move through what works for us, and it's different for everybody. So, what did Bracy say? Hold on a second. It is, we'll always have some degree of love for our parents, even if they hurt us. Amen. And that goes for those of you that are parents. Like, none of us are perfect. And we are all learning through this journey called life. We are humans, and we are fallible, and we do make mistakes. And we're all little girls and little boys. And as it was someone's channel. Whose channel was it? We were talking about, when did you feel like you were a grown up? And I'm like, some days I still, I think when my parents died, I was like, well, now I'm a grown up. I have to be a grown up. I'm 62 years old. So it was kind of like, well, if I'm not a grown up now, when the heck am I going to be a grown up? And what does that really mean? So I think that, we have to keep moving through these things. And we have to listen. And that's one of the things that I've struggled with, is the listening part, listening to myself. And so just to bring everybody together with the universal laws, the 12 universal laws of the universe, we're up to number 7. And the month of July, this is really the law of cause and effect. And this one is like the glue that binds the first 6 laws together. So I just want to talk about what they all are for those that are new to the channel. And if you are new, or haven't been here in a bit, please make sure you're subscribed and please like this video and any of the others. If you've watched them on the replay, it helps. So the first law of the universe is divine oneness. That's clearly just everything is connected. Every cause you create affects the whole. Your actions ripple through the collective consciousness. The second one is vibration. Our thoughts and our emotions vibrate at specific frequencies, right? And these vibrations also have cause and effect. So, for example, if I'm vibrating at a lower, poor, pitiful me, nobody likes me, the whole Eeyore versus Tigger or Pooh that, well, life is wonderful. Yes, the beehive fell on your head and you got stung, but how magical, the bees are out. It's like, okay, which one? You got to vibrate that energy. And they both have a cause and effect. And we're going to talk about that. The other one is the law of correspondence. And really what that talks about, as within, so without, as above, so below. And that's really everything, all of our beliefs, all of the mindsets, all of our life circumstances, they're all connected. And then the law of attraction. And that's not just about, that person's really attractive. It's more like what you focus on becomes a cause. The universe responds with the effect that matches your energy. So if you're a cranky pants, you usually resonate with cranky pants. If you're happy, you measure and you attract happy. And that's not somebody that's in that phase 24 hours a day, but it's like attracts like. And we see that all throughout this universe right now. The fifth law is inspired action. So, everything is wonderful in thought, but you have to put it into practice. So I can say, oh my goodness, I really want that car, but I'm not doing anything. I'm not getting a job to buy the car. I'm not doing the research to see if I can find a car that I can afford. It's you have to take action. And I'm simplifying this just so I can tie everything together in a minute. And then we talk about the perpetual transmutation of energy. That was last month. And really what that says is energy is always moving and changing. And your causes, which are thoughts and choices, transmute lower vibrations into higher outcomes. Here comes the storm, guys. I can hear it thundering. So I just wanted to share that with you. In case you hear it, and or I lose power, and or the cat comes running down the stairs for comfort, and the two dogs go banana cakes chasing her. Being a pet mama is a joy of my life. So these first 6 laws describe how energy works. The law of cause and effect is the engine that turns the energetic principles into real world results. One of the things that I read, I want to just come back to it. Can I find it? No, that's not it. Where did I put? It'll come here in a second. Oh, is this the one? Nope. I have notes. Just give me a second. Here. The law of cause and effect is like the cosmic glue that binds the first 6 laws in action. It's not just another law. It is the mechanism through which all the others express themselves in our lives. That I thought was really profound. And when we think about visualizing abundance, right? The law of attraction, your actions are rooted in fear or scarcity. It is, Victor. It's going to be a severe thunderstorm. I'm just hoping that everything, um, we need the rain because it's been incredibly hot here and sticky. And um, if I have to, I'll drop off and just pick up on Thursday. But um, it's in the distance, but it's coming. So, you know, if we live in scarcity, if we're afraid, the law of cause and effect will reflect those actions, not just your thoughts. It's the universe's way of saying, I see what you do, not just what you wish. And I just find that incredibly, um, you know, profound because think about how we move through things. Hey, Indigo, thank you for being here. Um, and, whether it's your career, whether it's, um, you know, your finances, whether it's your self worth and confidence, whether it's your health, whether it's your spiritual growth, which I've been on this path for a long time. Once you choose an area, you need to sort of identify the current, like what's not working. And we have to take a moment and think, right? We have to go back to ourselves and what is our thought pattern? What are our actions? What are we doing to shift the results that we're looking for? Because everything is interconnected. It's not just the universe going, oh, Teresa wants a house. Well, let me just give her a house. Um, it, this lifetime that we're in doesn't work that way. Oh, I want to be calm and centered and evolved. Great, you can say it, but what are you doing to be calm? What are you doing to be centered? What are you doing to evolve? And so, if any of you participate in Victor's meditations, it's not your typical meditation. And to me, it's very thought provoking. So, um, and it allows me to go in a different path. I also do. There's a Native American flute meditation that I do, and it's very uh, the adjectives are escaping me at the moment, but almost hauntingly beautiful. And that takes me on a different journey without any set intention in my head of where I want to go. Um, and then I do sometimes guided meditations, and those are specific. I do the guided meditations, I receive them, and I offer them for reasons, right? So if you're having a specific trauma, if you're having doubts, if you're having traumas, if you've been agitated by the baggage that you're carrying. I was journaling the other day, and I was like, why is it that I'm constantly putting in my backpack more crap? And my journey is to empty the backpack, to lighten my load of what I'm carrying. There are things as women, as men, as adults, we are children, we are siblings, we are friends, we are colleagues. So we are community. We don't need to take everybody's stuff in our backpack. It doesn't mean that we are not empathetic or sympathetic to someone's situation. But I don't need to own your stuff. And I'm saying this globally, not to anyone specific. Um, and so it really comes down to the actions that we take, the thoughts that we have, the attitudes can help us grow and release. And I'm on a journey of release. I don't want to carry all of my stuff anymore. I don't. It doesn't serve a purpose, but it does. Because in a way, what's hurting me is my way of saying, wait, look at me. I'm wounded. I'm hurt. Someone take care of me. That's the old me. The new me is, I see you and you are hurt. And I'm going to take care of you. Me. I am. I'm taking care of myself. I'm taking care of me. It doesn't mean that others can't help or participate or offer encouraging words, but everything we go through, we are the ones. I can't allow love in if I don't love myself. How am I supposed to be loved? Whatever love is coming at me ends up not being positive because I'm not loving myself and I'm treating myself poorly and not allowing me to say, you are the bee's knees. I do love you. You are great. Instead, it's like, well, look at you. You're a failure. You're a flop. You can't do this. You can't do that. No. And you put that energy out, and then the person that comes to you is attracted to that for whatever their reasons are. But I don't want to be receptive to that anymore. So I did the opposite and shut the doors. I built a moat. I'm the empty castle. I built the moat and I raised the drawbridge. And I'm like, good luck. Go ahead. In order for me to let the drawbridge down and open the doors, I, Teresa, have to love me. I have to take action. I have to release that which is not serving me or you. These are the conversations that we have to have with ourselves. And I think, it comes down to, we talk about self-worth. We talk about not feeling good enough most of the time in our life. I'm sorry, the computer, I was moving and it hit the computer. We as wounded souls look outward and not always inward. Oh, my mother hurt me. Oh, my father hurt me. Oh, my girlfriend hurt me. Oh, my boyfriend hurt me. Oh, my whatever hurt me. And, we project outwards because sometimes looking in the mirror saying, but you did it, is very difficult. And so we often do the opposite. We also exert and become more people pleasers. And I am in Massachusetts, Victor. I am the cat's meow. Thank you, John. And it's one of those things that we need to, I have to earn love, or I'm only valuable when I succeed at something. That's the old me. Those criticisms, that neglect, that comparison. Well, my girlfriend's really doing this, and look at how successful she is, and oh, look at her house, and oh, look at her car, and oh, look at her husband, and look at this. And we're projecting outwards. And so how do we shift that thought? And that's what I want to talk about in the laws of cause and effect before we lose our electricity. So I'm going to encourage me, Teresa, and I would encourage those that are on this journey with me on the 12 universal laws of the universe. Ooh, that's a tough one to say sometimes. Speak kindly to yourself every day. Have a more compassionate voice. And I've talked about this before. You know, when you get up in the morning, oh, everything hurts. No, I feel great today, and I'm going to have a great day. And damn, I look good. Your hair could be frazzled. You could have sleepy eyes. Change the voice. Change the voice. And Jimena's been talking about this as well on her channel lately. And so we're a little bit in sync on that. Set boundaries. Where do you feel safe? And what makes you feel safe? So is that, we don't want to always walk through life going everything's all rainbow and sunshine when it's not. I'm sad. That's a fact. My dad died. I'm sad. Most people didn't even acknowledge my birthday because my dad died. And that's okay. But I felt sad. I felt like no one acknowledged me. No, I'm not 2 years old. I acknowledged me. I took care of me. And I was much stronger. But now I feel like there's this wave of abandonment, but that's not the right word. I just can't think of another word right now. My dad didn't abandon me. He died. He died. And guess what? My favorite auntie in the whole world, I called her for her birthday yesterday. She turned 93. The whole time, it was like a circle of conversation. I love our new apartment. I have a bedroom. I have a kitchenette. I never use my kitchenette. We have a living room. We go down to have dinner every day. They have all our meals for us. And I'm really excited. We have a bedroom and I have a kitchenette. And that was for 30 minutes. She must have repeated that to me. I'm watching her disintegrate in front of my eyes. I'm sad. Those are things we're allowed to experience. I don't want to live in that experience. So finding that self-forgiveness and that permission to feel and not put it in my backpack. Does that make sense, guys? Thanks, Victor. I don't think we're supposed to have a tornado. We did not receive those warnings, and usually my town will flash a warning on the TV. I actually have it on in case they flash us anything. It's just a storm that's coming through, and it's just gonna, shake us up. So you don't have to earn your worth. You're born with it. The law of cause and effect simply helps us reclaim by choosing our new thoughts and actions and beliefs and that reflect who we truly are. Each of us is beautiful. Each of us is magical. Each of us is worth loving. We wouldn't be part of these communities that we're part of. I think Josh talked about this the other day, Mr. Floyd's Universe, that we are in such a unique situation where a lot of us go to each other's channels often, and that we're building a community, and there are new subscribers as a result of people participating and joining and seeing what we're doing. And we each have a voice. Just because someone else is doing, even Jimena does a meditation on her channel. It's very beautiful. Doesn't mean that it invalidates how I do a meditation or how Victor does a meditation or how anyone else chooses to do that. We all find value and uniqueness in the energy we're putting out there, but it's all in love. It's all for our best and highest good. And that's what I think is the glue of this community. So the cause and the effect is we are bringing so much love and light. It's just different. And how magical is that? And what I personally used to do was undervalue, well, I don't have a voice. Why would anyone want to listen to me? It's okay. It's just the thunder. It's just the thunder pop up. It's okay. They're going to start to go crazy. So I'm going to have to wrap this up. But hey, Witchy Trista, lovely to see you. So it's something that, we can affect change. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of success. I am worthy of joy. Not because of what I do, but because of who I am. Right? I honor my needs. I trust my journey. I treat myself with kindness and respect. And we need to continue to echo these positive affirmations, mantras, post-it notes of positivity. It's like each of us has a strength. Each of us has something to offer this community and ourselves, most importantly, ourselves. I started this channel for me. I wanted to build a community. I wanted to make some friends. I wanted to show that as I move through this journey, my old self and my new self can coexist in that circle of love. And that I don't want to live in the old self. The new self is worthy. The new self is living in light. That doesn't mean that there isn't shadow and darkness. Doesn't mean that there aren't thunderstorms that come out. And guess what? Thunderstorms bring rain, and rain brings nourishment. So each of these trials and tribulations is reinforcing who we are and what we want to be. And we're about to have some chaos because the kitty just came down afraid of the thunderstorm, and the puppies are about to go bananas. So I am going to end this before everybody starts to go crazy. But keep this in mind, and we'll talk a little bit about it on Thursday, and I have some other things I want to share. And I think, as I try to reimagine what I want to do on this channel, it is about building relationships. It is about us building this community, but it is also about my growth and my evolution on who I want to be in this world. And hopefully you'll all be join the ride with me and come along. And I'm grateful for each of you that are here right now, and those of you on the replay. I have so much love and respect for each of you, and I send you with so much love and so much goodness and so much joy. So we are going to tap out a little bit early just because I'm now seeing flashes of lightning. And so I will see you all on Thursday. Thank you for your patience last week. I'm here, and I'm back in my love and light space where I can be here for everybody as well. So thank you. I send you with so much love, and here comes the outro if I can do it correctly.
I'm like an ice skater dancing out for the first time on the form solid ice. No more fears, no sorrows, because I love the coming tomorrows. This life has barely begun, but now I know what I want to do. I know what reborn. Finally feeling I am fulfilling my destiny with a heart filled of gratefulness, happiness, joy, overflowing of kindness and love. Oh, so much love. I feel like love is the supportive pillar in my soul, and it only grows each day.